Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Adam Bergman's Moneymakers, where we talk everything personal finance, we talk stock market, real estate, building generational wealth, and hopefully one day being able to take care of your entire bloodline where nobody has to work. Again, that is always the goal, for you to live a great life, but more importantly than you, your family to live a great life. Because as a man or a grown woman, this is what you would like to do in your life. At least that is for me. And if you're single and you don't have a family, you don't plan to have a family, that's all good too. Take care of yourself and live your best life. Before I move any further, I am going to be talking about Palantir today. Yesterday was an absolute bloodbath of a day, but I wanted to make a quick announcement. I got a couple of comments down below in the comment section. I can count them on one hand. They really weren't that many. That said that they don't like that I move my hands. They compare me to Ali G, and they say that I'm a little bit too hood. And to this, I'm gonna say, I greatly apologize that I offend you in any way, shape, or form. But to this, I will also say, if you want somebody that's not genuine, that's not 100% real, and that acts for you in front of the camera, this is not the show. If you want a person who's 100% genuine, 100% honest, and keeps it a buck at all times, then I am the person for you. Unfortunately, I do move my hands. This is my characteristics. I've been in business for over 20 years. I've built a very successful business that I got out of to get into YouTube. And this is always the way that I spoke to get my point across, because when I speak with conviction and I speak with feeling. So I apologize in advance one more time if I offend you because I move my arms too much. But if you do like the content and you don't want me to move my hands, just listen to me in the background while you're driving to work in the morning. And hopefully one day, with listening to me in the background, not financial advice, purely entertainment and educational purposes only, you won't have to work one day, because you're gonna build that ever elusive generational wealth. And we're gonna do it together and build solid footing and foundations to this home we call generational wealth. With that said, let's move forward with Palantir. The ticker symbol for Palantir is PLTR. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yesterday was an absolute bloodbath. It was a terrible day. It was caca. It was doo-doo. And I literally went home, up my stairs, went soon stairs, and then I went underneath my bed, and I started crying like, it is absolutely terrible. Now, let's try to make some sense of why it was so bad. There's two main things that I can think of why it was so bad. Number one, we get all of this inflation ratings, and then we get some news that the Fed is going to raise their interest rates, not 25 basis points, but 50 basis points in their meeting in May. This is next month. Well, what does 50 basis points mean? What does 25 basis point means? That means 0.25, 0.50, 100 basis points is 1%. They're raising the federal interest rates. The federal interest rates is what controls all the interest rates in this country, which means the interest rates that you're paying for your loans, the rates you're paying for your cars, the interest rates you're paying for student loans, for credit cards, for mortgages, for refinances, so on and so forth. So as the rates rise, it gets more expensive to borrow money. And what happens when things become more expensive and it's a little bit more difficult to get? Well, a little bit less people want those loans, so on, so forth, so on, so forth. And this is what's happening right now. And the more you pay for your interest rates, a lot of tech companies don't want to borrow money, or when they do borrow money and the interest rates rises, this could demolish their bottom line. And a lot of valuations of a company has to do with not only earnings, but profitability. And if you're paying more for loans in order to take out to build your company in research and development, marketing, so on and so forth, well, your bottom line goes down, which means the multiple of your profitability goes down as well. And that's why your company shrinks in value. Number two, there's a lot of tech sector earnings this week. For example, Google and Microsoft. Google came out yesterday, did not do great, but did not do terrible. Microsoft came out, did pretty good. There's a lot of earnings. So I'll say Google and Microsoft cancel each other out. I need to look at the full earnings, and I'm going to give you a full story. I'm just giving you a quick synapse of maybe why the entire market tanked. I honestly thought that the market was going to do a lot better with the announcement of Elon Musk taking over Twitter for various different reasons that I'm not going to go into right now. But sometimes, like with all good ideas, you have to say, c'est la vie, bon voyage, I'll see you later, And no, those ideas just have to go because they didn't really execute. At the end of the day, one of the only earnings that I'm looking forward to, and one of the only earnings that you guys are looking forward to, is Palantir's earnings, which is going to be on May 9th. I'm probably going to air it live on this channel. And another amazing thing that's going to happen today at 11 o'clock, we have a Apollo demo. The much awaited Apollo demo. It's going to be today, 11 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to do my best to air it live. I have a couple of other things that I'm doing throughout the day, a couple of other meetings, but I will try my best to air it live, 11 o'clock. Maybe I'll go live around 10:30 today on this channel, and we can talk a little bit about Palantir. There is a lot of good news about Palantir, and the consensus is that Palantir is going to beat earnings on May 9th. We're actually hoping that we're going to have something of a Tesla moment where people kind of counted us out and boom, we deliver. The funniest thing with Palantir, as you have all of this bottlenecking, that's good for Palantir. As you have all of this uncertainty, that's really good for Palantir. And as you have all of this COVID repercussions, that's also very good for Palantir. As you have this unfortunate invasion in Ukraine, that is also good for Palantir. All this crazy things that's happening right now in the world is actually good for Palantir. That's why it's so weird right now that this is happening to Palantir, that Palantir is not actually blowing through the roof. Palantir should be in double digits starting with a 3, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, purely educational entertainment purposes only. But in my personal opinion, for my own personal play, I think Palantir is severely undervalued right now by around 300%. I honestly think that Palantir should be trading at $30+ right now. Call me crazy, whatever you want, but you're investing in a company for future potential. Palantir has no debt. They have over $50 million in gold bullion. Palantir's data literally makes companies less efficient and in turn makes them more efficient because of using the Palantir Foundry software. And one of the main concerns of Palantir is that they're not going to get enough government contracts. Well, I'm going to show you in a moment that they actually locked up a couple of government contracts over the last month. I will also show you the website that you can check for Palantir government contracts. I will give you the hack website that makes it very easy for you guys to look for Palantir contracts, because believe me, it's actually not that easy to understand. It's super crazy, complex jargon if you're looking at the real website. And we are going to get more government contracts, not just domestically, but abroad. And I've said it many times. I've actually said it before Alex Karp came out. I've said it before all of the analysts came out and said it. It's all on video and documented that because of the geopolitical uncertainty right now that we have in Europe, Europe is going to have to level up their military. What does this mean? There's 2 types of military: physical and data, right? Security, cyber breaches, things like that. Where do you think a lot of the money is going to go to? It's going to go to Palantir. We already know that Germany is going to spend over 100 billion euro to shore up their military. We already know they're going to go to 2% GDP in order to contribute to NATO. We know that Spain is also going to go from 1.5% to 2% GDP in order to contribute to NATO. All the other NATO countries are also gonna level up and spend a lot more money for security. A lot of that money is going to be cybersecurity. I made a video before and I told you a couple of companies that might get a lot of this money. Of the 2 cyber companies that I mentioned mentioned Palantir and I mentioned CrowdStrike. And both of them really are getting updates, and both of them really are getting a lot of money funneled in by what's happening right now in Europe. So this is actually the hack website that you guys can be using. The website is called Federal Awards Advanced Search. It's www.usaspending.gov/search. And then you can search for Palantir. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description. Again, this is the easy website to make your life a lot simpler. Over here, I want you to go to start dates, and then I want to click the bottom arrow. And as you can see, you're going to see a bunch of dates. Now, some of these contracts are brand new contracts. Some of these contracts are extension awards to existing contracts. Either way, they count on this page. I want to take you to this first contract right here. As you can see, this is a $2.6 million contract. This contract is awarded by the Department of Health and Human Services. The start date is April 24th, 2022, and the end date is March 7th. So this seems like a 1-year contract totaling $2.6 million. Let's go back. Second contract, let's click on it. This is also awarded by the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. This was awarded on April 21st, and this ends March 7th. This is a $7.8 million contract. So it seems like the Health and Human Services awarded 2 different contracts to Palantir. Again, it's not easy to understand all of these government contracts, or at least it's not easy for me. So I'm going to do my best job to explain it. What happens is the government, they have like an amount that they want to award, and then they can award that in one shot, or they can award it to different companies, or they could award different parts to the same company because they were trying to get different companies, and you bid for the job and you ended up getting the job, if that all makes sense. This is a contract in February, also from the Department of Health and Human Services, $5 million. Starts February 21st, ends May 24th. This contract is $5.3 million, February 7th and July 23rd. Also, Department of Health and Human Services. This is from the Department of Agriculture, USDA, awarded $2.2 million, and this was awarded in the beginning of the year of January 28th. And then you could see on the right-hand side the total amounts, 2.5 million, 7.8 million, 5 million, 5 million, 2 million. That's a quick 22 million just from the beginning of this year. That's not counting any other contracts that we are working on. That's not counting our commercial contracts. That's not counting any of our foreign contracts. We do have a massive contract that we're trying to work with the UK Health Services. The contract is worth over $300 million equivalent. We definitely need that. Guys, the road is looking good for Palantir. I know right now it looks like ish. I know it absolutely looks like garbage. However, this might be the best time to buy. I'm not saying to buy. I'm just saying, no, the price of Palantir looks terrible, $11. But usually when it's down like this might be the best times for you guys to look into this and possibly buy something. You don't want to buy at a 52-week high, but I do definitely believe we should be at that $30, 52-week high, and we shouldn't be at this absolutely garbage $11 per share. We have a lot of good things to look forward to. We have an amazing earnings that's coming up. I think that those earnings is a big shot for us to blow people away. I think that those earnings is going to reflect a lot of things that was happening in March in the beginning of this conflict. However, I believe that the next 2 or 3 earnings is really going to make us shine, and we're really going to see a lot of that revenue coming in from the geopolitical uncertainty that's happening right now in Europe. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Give me the likes, give me the shares, and give me the subscribe. We are over 400 people strong. We are 402 subscribers last time I checked in just over a month. You guys are absolutely fantastic, absolutely fabulous. I love you all. And again, I apologize for moving my arms, but that's just who I am. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there, specifically in the Palantir and personal finance space. If I'm not for you, that's okay. Please watch somebody else, but this is just the way I speak, so you understand that it's coming from the heart. If you want somebody who's disingenuous or who's fake, don't watch my channel. But if you want 100% real, stick around for Adam Bergman's Money Makers, because we're going to make that money in the future, and that's a fact, Adam.